everyone, it's Leanne. Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. I want to do a sketchbook tour today. I have a few sketchbooks that I've finished during lockdown. I've been kind of stuck at home like probably everyone else. And so I've been really using this time to focus on my art and some new things for 2021. I did just do a video of my Inktober drawings from October of last year, and I did do all 31 days, so you can check out that video. I'll put a link in the description below. For this video, we're going to take a look at my travel journal. This is the Strathmore Watercolor Travel Journal. It is 100% cotton, so I do like to paint just on 100% cotton. I just find it's better control with the paints, and I'm more used to the nuances of it and the predictability of what happens when I put the pigment on paper. So this size is 5.5 by 8. I do really like these books. They come with the little rubber band, which has been nice for keeping the pages kind of together when they go astray after they've had water applied to them. So we'll take a look at what's in here. So this is a really rough journal. There's going to be some mixed art in here. It's more like a sketchbook for sure. I was keeping a list over here of all my Animal Crossing characters that visited my island or that moved in. I was going to draw them all. Kind of did that, but I didn't finish it. I ended up finishing the book first. I did pick up some colors. So this includes a few trips that I took last year in 2020. And I did pick up some new paints on my travels as well. So I swatched those on the side. This is from our trip to Cuba. It was in February of 2020. So we flew Air Transat, and the coolest thing about being in Cuba is when you get off the plane, you come down the stair car. It's not like they have the gangway that comes out to the plane. It's a very basic airport, and it was so cool as a plane fanatic to get off the plane and walk around the aircraft on the tarmac. It was just so cool, and so I wanted to be sure I documented that. We played some dice. I went with my mom. She's a travel agent, and she took a group down to Cuba, so I got to go with her. And it was super fun. I drew the sugar packet from our hotel, and I did have a Caesar at the airport bar on the way, which was in Toronto, or Bloody Mary if you're American. The Canadian version just uses clamato juice instead of tomato juice. Super yummy. This was a bird we met in Cuba. So this bird was named Linda, and its job is to come into the dining area, which is open in our resort, and it scares off all the little birds, like the sparrows and stuff that come in and try to munch on the leftover buffet. So this bird's job is just to come in and keep those birds away. So we got to hold the bird and meet it and stuff. It was very lovely, so I wanted to document that as well in my journal. These are some little macros from the day. They had these leaves on the beach. The tree we were sitting under had these really nice kind of organic shaped leaves. They were just really pretty. I thought that was unique, so I wanted to capture those. We picked some shells on the beach, which is one of my favorite things to do. And we played Pass the Pigs just to kill the time. So on this page I do have my Animal Crossing characters. These are some of my first villagers that came to my island. And if you know anything about Animal Crossing, you know Raymond is very rare. He's one of the new characters this game. And so he was the first visitor to my tent, my campsite. So I got super lucky that I got him right off the bat. Bob I brought in with an amiibo card that I scanned that I had. He's my other favorite. And yeah, I just love all my villagers. I do have these as stickers, some of these in my Etsy shop, if you like Animal Crossing and you're interested also. So here I did a bird, just a bird painting. This was actually done in December, so this is jumping forward to the end of the year. What happened, I should explain the story. So when we went on a trip in the summer to a local park, I painted this pavilion that was in the park, and I sent the picture to my mom, and she posted it on social media. I didn't know she did that, but it was a local group on Facebook, and I had an offer to buy the painting. And so I did sell the painting. I know people say not to sell your originals, but it was my very first time I had anyone interested in my art in that way. So I was very excited, and it meant a lot to the person that I sold it to because it was where they had got married, and it was really when I made this, it was right near their 1-year anniversary. So it was very special to them, and they were really keen to have it. So I did cut the page out of my book, and so that's why I have this random page in here that's not in sequential order. So I did decide to print a copy of what I painted and insert it in my book or I had cut it out so that I still had that memory of the painting. I did scan this too and sold some prints for some local people as well. So that was super fun, and I was so proud that other people were interested in the sketch that I did. So that was quite an accomplishment. I was pretty excited, but I did want to keep a print in there. This painting is also of the bird series. So this was just a blank page that I had left over, and I was trying to finish my sketchbook. I did this one in acrylic wash, which is by Holbein. That's the kind that I got. I'll show you some of those. So they just come in tubes like this. And the thing that makes them different from acrylic is they dry matte like watercolor, but they are basically acrylic because they dry permanent like plastic. So once they're dry, you can't re-wet them, you can't destroy them, you can paint over them, which is unlike watercolor. So that's what I did that bird in. So I was going through the Birds in December challenge. This was on Instagram, and I will put a link to the Instagram account where this is hosted below. It's Birds in December every December. I love birds. I was so excited to find this challenge. So I did do some of the birds in the challenge. This is the Bohemian Waxwing that I did. I did the Scarlet Tanager, the Maine Puffins, which are kind of my favorite, and this little Crimson Rosella. Now, if you rewind a little bit, so this is back to August of this past year. We went to visit my sister. This is my second trip I took. We went out west where she lives in Canada. And so this is a little study of her kitty cat, Tyler. And with this picture, I really wanted to push the boundaries of the colors. He's black, but I just wanted to use some very interesting shades and work on form with these sketches. And I'm not very good at drawing cats. So with this, I feel like I got 50% of the pictures looking like him. Some of them look like a fox, but it was a fun study and practice to do. So with this picture here, this is a picture of my sister's patio. Really beautiful, and she lives, you can see the mountains in the background, and it's just so gorgeous out west. And so I really enjoyed my time out there. And I really enjoyed having the time, just the downtime to spend sketching and studying something like this, working on just sketching from plein air, I guess you could say. One of the days we went to the kangaroo farm out there, and these are all the animals that we got to meet. This really funny chicken with this crazy hairdo. The little duck I thought was really cute. The capybara was really neat. The world's largest rodent. I guess this is from Australia. He was quite unique to see. The baby emus were always entertaining. They all kind of run in the same direction at the same time. And then the little kangaroos and the goats are always funny. When I was out there, I went to see an art store that my sister lives near. And we don't have any good art stores where I live that are pure art supplies like she has. So I did get acrylic wash there. That's the first time I ever have bought it. And so I was doing some studies on this page, not really knowing what I was doing, just trying different techniques and trying to figure out what I could do with this medium. So this is back in August. And I also picked up some pencil crayon or colored pencil Faber-Castell and just experimenting. I wasn't really sure. I really liked the shadows and highlights here with this negative shape almost. But I was just experimenting. I wasn't really worked out what I would do with that at that point. One of the mornings we went to the Jamboree, which is this really cool restaurant that's legendary and very quintessential to the region where it is. It's like a tradition. Everyone goes to the Jamboree, and so we got treated to breakfast there, and it was really fun. So this is a picture of my mimosa that I had, and I had fun too doing the black background, just trying to play with some different, something different than I would normally do, instead of just painting a wash of clouds or something in the background. I've also been trying to get better at sketching on location, so I tried to draw from our flight back, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as I pulled out my sketchbook, it started to get bumpy with turbulence, of course, because that's the way it always goes. And so I did my best to get this sketch in as best I could, and then I just put my sketchbook away and finished the rest later. Again, just kind of playing with colors, and I thought it was okay. It didn't turn out too terrible. Proportions for the most part were kind of there, kind of not, but it was fun to draw. This is another sketch I did of one of the pictures that I took while we were flying back from the airport in Kelowna, British Columbia. So this is a picture of the aircraft that we flew on. And I did this at home. I didn't draw this on location. I drew it from reference. But I thought it was really fun. I love airplanes, and so I would really like to get better at sketching as if I were sitting in the airport doing this. So this was mostly a practice piece, but I also wanted to log my journey as well. So this is a picture that my sister took. She went to the Ripley's Aquarium in Toronto, and it had the picture of the stingray with all of these fish and this water current coming this way, and it was just a beautiful photograph, and this little light reflection coming down through the water. And so I tried to capture that as best I could with this drawing. I thought it was so pretty. Now, I think I've mentioned this on a few videos, but it is hard to come up with ideas of what to draw during lockdown when you don't go anywhere and you have not a lot of changes to your scenery when you're at home. So I have been doing some online prompts on Instagram, and so I've been doing, at this point I was doing the doodle wash prompts. This was leading up to October, so that I did these in September. And so this prompt was crane, and so I found this image online and did these little cranes, these baby cranes with the mom crane crossing the path. And another doodle wash prompt was flight. And so I decided to do these lanterns in the nighttime sky, and I don't paint a lot of darkness or night images, and that's not something you typically see in watercolor. And if you do and it's done really well, it's absolutely gorgeous. So I thought this would be fun to get in some practice along with doing just the light reflections. And so, like, especially with this, how this turned out, I'm really proud of how the reflections on the shirt have the yellows, and then you can see the color like gradiating to the where it's darker at the back, and you can actually see the color because the lanterns pretty much blow out the tones out in the front because of that warm yellow light. So this was a fun practice piece for sure. And then on my last page, I did a combination. This is another experiment. I did a combination of watercolor and acrylic gouache. So this was a mix. I started using gouache and I didn't like the colors I was getting, and gouache I've been trying to figure out how to use gouache, and I've been having a lot of trouble with that because it is different than watercolor. And I didn't want to just mix flat colors, and I was trying to use the acrylic gouache I had, and I didn't like the colors that weren't varied enough. And so anyways, I painted over this like 3 times. It is documented on my Instagram because I was so frustrated. But at the end of the day, I just ended up doing this. I like the way the watercolor turned out. I don't know if so much I like the acrylic gouache surrounding, but again, this was just more of an experimental sketchbook, and so I just kind of went for it on the last page and just kept going. And if I felt the instinct to try something different, I just kept painting over it, and that's pretty much what I did. But this picture is of Roy's Rolls Cafe, and if you watch Coronation Street, which is one of my favorite shows, the British soap opera, that's what this is from. So that is my sketchbook. I'm excited that this is finished. I finished 2 sketchbooks this year. I did my Inktober and I did this one. I didn't finish this one completely. I did do Inktober, but I have some pages left to fill in. But again, you can check out that video on my channel as well. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this look at some of my sketches that I've been doing and what I've been filling up during our lockdown time. And I think it's been a good use of time just to get in the art practice. Sometimes I just don't have the time during my regular day, but with being at home, I can still do my work during the day, and then I don't have my commute time, so it saves a little bit, and I have time to do stuff like this that I love. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you did. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you're notified as I post more videos to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.